Reflections on Awareness by Ajahn Sumedho. We tend to develop a conception of awareness and try to become aware, thinking it is something we have to get, attain, or try to develop. But this very intention, this very conceptualization, makes us heedless. We keep trying to become mindful, rather than just being aware of the mind as it tries to become and tries to attain. When we are meditating, we are being the knowing. Taking refuge in Buddha means to be the knowing, to be wakeful. It doesn't mean we believe we are the Buddha. That's delusion. But one becomes Buddha as the transcending knowing, by being awake. Then Mara, the personification of delusion, comes in all its different ways. All your fears, doubts, worries, greed, and so on, come swirling around your head and inside your heart. Then you can say, I know you, Mara. Just be that knowing. Being in a pleasant state of mind is not a prerequisite for inclusive awareness. One can be in the pits of hell and misery, and yet still open to the experience of being aware, and thus allow even the most upsetting states to be just what they are. If some kind of unskillful emotion or characteristic arises in consciousness, and you think, that's unskillful, then you make more of it than it is. You don't have to regard anything as unskillful. It is what it is. If you trust your intuitive wisdom, you'll know how to respond to a situation rather than just reacting to it and creating a sense of a bad trait that you have to get rid of. Feeling there is something wrong with me because I have this characteristic. That just leads to complications. It becomes conceptual proliferation. You create a mountain out of a molehill. We need to move away from that which complicates and makes life difficult, towards the ultimate simplicity of pure mindfulness in the present moment. Because enlightenment is here and now. The truth is now. There isn't anyone who can become anything. There isn't anyone who is born or who will die. There is only this eternal now. This awareness now is what we can tune into as we let go of the appearances and habitual tendencies and incline towards this simple reflection on the present. What is most simple is to wake up. Buddha means awake. It's as simple as that. The most profound teaching is the phrase, wake up. Hearing this, one then asks, what am I supposed to do next? We complicate it again because we're not used to being really awake and fully present. We're used to thinking about things and analysing, trying to get something or get rid of something, achieving and attaining. Memory is what we've experienced in the past, and the future is unknown. But who is it that knows the conditions of the moment? I can't find that who. There's only the knowing. And knowing can know what is present now, pleasant or unpleasant, speculations about the future, or reminiscences of the past, creations of yourself as this or that. You create yourself or the world you live in. But when there is purity, there is no body, no thing. There's just that. We call it suchness. And let go of that too. More and more, the path is simply being here and now, being with the way things are. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to become, and nothing to get rid of. What's left when there's no grasping is consciousness knowing itself. Awareness, aware of awareness. The mind has a radiant quality to it. Consciousness has a radiance. It has light itself. When we begin to let go of always limiting ourselves through the distortions of our conditioned mental states, then we begin to understand, to see things as they really are, to know the Dharma, enlightenment. This is not something distant, remote, and impossible. Unless you want to hold to those views from a personal attitude about them. Resting in this conscious awareness is referred to as coming home, our real home. It's a place to rest, a home. The idea of a home is a place where you belong. You are no longer a foreigner or an alien. You begin to recognize this through a sense of relief, of just being home at last, of not being a stranger, a wanderer out in the wilderness. When we let go and simply abide in pure, unattached consciousness or awareness, that is also the experience of unconditional love. Pure consciousness accepts everything. It is not a divisive function. It doesn't have preferences of any sort. It accepts everything and every condition for what it is. The bad, the good, the demons, anything. So when you begin to trust in it, the practice of metta, of loving kindness, comes alive. Rather than just spreading good thoughts and altruistic ideas, it becomes practical and very real. When you begin to trust in this awareness, the conscious moment that is infinite, then everything belongs in it. From the perspective of this conscious being, whatever arises in this consciousness is accepted and welcomed. Whether it's through the senses from the outside or from the inside. In other words, all the emotional and physical conditions that become conscious in this present moment This sense of love, acceptance, and non-judgment accepts everything you are thinking, feeling, and experiencing. It allows everything to be what it is.